Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So today is Thursday, which means it's BookList Thursday. This is something I do with Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of thoughts, ideas, bookish related stuff, and recommendations. I messed that up. Whatever, we're gonna go with it. So today is our 5-star prediction follow-up. We do 5-star predictions every other month. Sometimes we team up with other booktubers. Sometimes we just do our own thing, but there's usually a theme around it. So this time it was just Sarah and I, and we did our summer roll your next read. That was a challenge that we had. I think we did that in June, so it was June, July, August. Super fun, and I really enjoyed the roll your next read. Like it was just fun. So based on the prompts we got, we picked books that we thought were going to be 5-star prediction or 5 stars. I decided to pick a bunch of book of the month books because I need to read them instead of having them sit on my shelves. So I have 3 of them. Thoroughly enjoyed every single one of them. So we've got, sorry, there's a lot of chaos happening in my house today. So we've got 2 5 stars and 1 4-star. So let's talk about my 5 stars first. This one. Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Now it's a science fiction book, which I'm not necessarily drawn to science fiction, but anything Andy Weir writes, I am going to pick up. I loved The Martian and I loved Project Hail Mary. I have Artemis somewhere, so I should really pick that one up sometime. It's over there. So this one follows our main character, Ryland Grace. And we start out the book, and he is the sole survivor of a mission to space. And when he wakes up, he doesn't necessarily remember really what's going on. He's all by himself, light years away from anybody else. And so he slowly starts getting his memory back and starting to remember that he's on this mission to basically save Earth. And that is where we go. I mean, you can't help but fall in love with him and root for him and root for his mission. I liked going into this knowing very minimal details, but there is another character in this book that I also fell in love with. If you know, you know. It's just amazing. So would highly recommend this. I know that the audiobook is fantastic. It's only available on Audible from what I can find. But I've heard if you have Audible, I've heard the audiobook is the way to go with this one. My sister listened to it that way and just cannot stop raving about it. And if you get into the book, you know why an audio would be better. Again, without telling too much. But the adventure they went on, the science, it got slightly sciencey at times. I know I kind of would skim past that a little bit, and you don't lose out on the story. But astrophysics is not an interest of mine. But Andy Weir writes it in a way that you can understand it, and you can jump on the bandwagon of, yeah, this could happen. This could work. So. I also was reading this at the same time that the news broke that the government has alien life, evidence of alien life or whatever. I don't know. It was interesting timing as I'm like learning about space and him being out there, and then it was fantastic. So I could gush about this book all day. I know it's a chunker. It went really quick. I laughed, I cried, all of the emotions. I got pissed at one point. I was so mad. And just the idea of the world all coming together to support, and it's so good. It's so good. The next 5 stars that I handed out was to Mr. Riley Sager. This is The House Across the Lake, which I was nervous going into because I heard people weren't loving it. Yet I'm going to parallel it. If you love Lock Every Door, you will love House Across the Lake. We're gonna go with that. So this one is Casey Fletcher. She's living by herself in her family's house on this specific lake. Her life has just basically been turned upside down. She's recently widowed. She is an actress trying to escape a streak of really bad press. And she's drinking a lot. to kind of deal with what she is going through. And so as she's there by herself, one day on the lake, she notices a woman drowning, and so she heads out there and saves Catherine. And because she saves Catherine, she starts to kind of, Catherine and her become acquaintances. And she starts to kind of learn more about her neighbors who live across the lake. And Catherine and Tom's marriage, not quite what it appears to be. So think Rear Window, that classic neighbor spying on neighbor, trying to figure out what's going on, and we go from there. And I loved this so much. So highly recommend it. This went really quick. My only complaint, Riley Sager, is sometimes you have long chapters, and I don't always love that. It's just the where I am in life. I need short chapters because I only have snippets of time sometimes to pick up a book. But overall, fantastic. It's a really great summer read, like this time, because she's there like end of summer into fall. So it just atmospherically felt right. But 5 stars. Oh, I loved it. I only have one more Riley Sager to read, and then I've read him down to 0. So that's exciting. I gotta get to that one. And then of course he's gonna come out with another book because he better. And then the last book I picked up is We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang. This one I gave 4 stars just because, how do I say this? Some of the reasons why some characters did some things in this book, I just had a hard time believing that their action was that extreme when what happened, not that it wasn't impactful in that person's life. It just, I don't know. It just, with as close as this family is, I had a hard time believing that that person would take that action. So go with me on it. All right. So this one follows the Brennan family. We have Sunday Brennan, 29 years old, youngest, I believe, daughter. And she wakes up in Los Angeles hospital, bruised, battered. She was in a drunk driving accident. So strange I had 2 drinking ones here. She ends up going home to her family in New York to recover. She deserted them long ago. And now she's kind of got to go back and face the music. So we get introduced to her family, which is extreme and loud and crazy, and they're close-knit, and they're an Irish family for sure. So she's just got to face her past. She's got to own up to some stuff and help kind of defend her family against some people who don't necessarily want to see them succeed. So good story. I feel like it's a bit forgettable, and again, I just had some issues. And usually I go with things and I'm pretty like laid back when it comes to specific plot points and believability in certain books. Just this one was a bit of a struggle for me. Again, 4 stars, still a fantastic read. Still would suggest it. I mean, this family, let's talk about like family values and sticking together and supporting each other, and forgiveness is big in this one too. It reminded me a bunch of my own family. It's big and it's loud, and we annoy each other sometimes, and we get mad at each other sometimes, but yet at the end of the day, we do nothing but reign around each other and support each other and drop anything and everything to be able to help each other. So it gave me that kind of vibe. But yeah, it was good, just a little forgettable. So 3 really solid choices, 3 book of the month books I've got off of my to read shelf, and I'm moving into the done. Still such an advocate for book of the month. They really pick some really solid choices. I can't think of one book that I've read by them that I just didn't like at all. The majority of the ones that I have picked up have been 4 or 5 stars. They are fantastic subjects. You have such a range of genres to pick from. You get introduced to new authors. Sometimes you see your favorite authors on there. And I know you can buy up to 7 books in a month. No, 5 books in a month now. It used to be limited to 3, but they'll have up to 7 selections. And the cost, like the price point, is just, it's perfect. I mean, you can't go to a bookstore and get a hardcover book like this for the same price you're paying on Book of the Month. And then to get the additional add-ons, again, really reasonable. I'm going to leave a link below to my referral link if you are interested in signing up. You won't be disappointed. Highly encourage you to do it. You also get your first book is cheaper. I want to say it's only like $10 or $12 for your first one. And then I get a little kickback, which of course I appreciate. It helps me with my channel. But overall, you're not going to regret it. It's so good. And if you don't like any books one month, you can skip it. There's a reason why they stack up, because they're all just so good. So it's probably the only book subscription it is the only book subscription service that I have consistently stayed with. I mean, I've tried a number of them, and for various reasons didn't stick with them, but this one is definitely for sure. I absolutely love them. And this is not like a paid sponsorship at all. This is strictly my true feelings on this. They're not giving me anything. So anyways, that was a little bit of a tangent. Head over to Sarah's channel and see see how her 5-star predictions, I know what she picked. See how her 5-star predictions went for this round. And then we're going to be back next week with our next round of 5-star predictions with a guest. So it's going to be good. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And I'll see you next time. Bye.